our own relationship internationally. We are a global family, but I believe many aspects of our life together may not find there's no vehicle that will allow the richness of the various cultures in the global family to come into the picture and be considered in the way we do things in the community. For example, governance is largely Philippine-based, and while that is all right because the center of the work is really in the Philippines, that's where it started. But since we have grown, I believe we should take a real look at how brethren from the other parts of the world, from other countries, can participate more meaningfully in the way the community is governed. And so this particular session in September will also deal with that. Look at our structures. Perhaps the Elders Assembly that we have, which, for example, elects the CFC International Council, should be expanded to accommodate more representatives from the various countries. Of course, we'd like to see how this is practicable because we have such constraints as distance and cost and whatnot. But the idea is to make sure that more and more we truly become a global family, although based in Manila, in the Philippines. And these are some of the things we'd like to look at. We'd like to look at even also the whole governance principles that we've been having. One aspect of which is our council now, the CFC International Council now, really feels strongly that, and we will recommend to the Pastoral Congress that there should be term limits for members of the CFC International Council. We should not really stay too long because it has to be a good mix of continuity and the stability, and also continuity and creativity and the blending of wisdom and new thinking and then a new spirit. And I think that's what will keep the community even more vibrant. And so we will have to find the right balance, the right formula for that. And we in the CFC Council are committed to pursue that now. Exactly what the limits are, that is to be worked out and discussed in the workshops. And some say that perhaps we should not limit it at the level of the CFC International Council, but even down the line, well, up to a certain level, we'll see what is called for, what is new. Because we are not going to change for the sake of change. We're going to change for the better as we also reflect on it and pray about it. Right, the sixth point in our agenda for the next 2 years is really, I touched on it a bit earlier, strengthening our own relationship with the church, with the clergy. Really making it clear, because sometimes it's a bit fuzzy. For example, in our statutes as approved by the Vatican, there is just a general description of what is the role of the spiritual advisor. And in that statutes, the provision of the statute, it says the spiritual advisor has competence to advise in matters of theology and spirituality and morality. But clearly also there expresses it, but not on organizational matters. Okay. And so we'd like to see how that should really be implemented very clearly so everyone just knows. Because maybe part of the reason why there were this there was this discussion and disagreement in the past is because that portion may not be too clearly enunciated in a way how it acts. Because, for example, the elections that we have, many felt, and some bishops also agree, that it was basically an internal organizational matter that should be left to the community to resolve by itself. But anyway, those are things we'd like to just say. We're not against it, we're saying let's just make it clear so that everyone will know how to proceed from there. But one of the things that we'd like to do is to really be of service to the church. Again, here each situation is different. how to figure out what is best, how that can best be implemented. But over in the Philippines, there are two areas where we would like to be of help to the church. One is, I don't know if you've heard about the basic ecclesial communities, or the BECs. No, the church in the Philippines would like BECs, or essentially groupings of Catholics within the neighborhoods to just meet and regularly have fellowship, which is essentially our household. But the church would like this also to be done. But in the past we've said, well, what we're doing in CFC is BEC, and we don't care about what the church wants. Well, we don't say it that way, but our attitude has been like that. So, but now we'd like to offer our own expertise, our own experience, and help the church establish their own BECs without CFC owning the BECs. That will still be the church, and that should be clear from the very start. The other area we'd like to be of help is to form within the CFC family a core of catechists or teachers who can teach catechism. One of the very alarming statistics we heard actually some 2 years back from the Jesuits, so they studied that there's an alarming decrease in the percentage of our young people who go through catechism. It's now just limited basically to those who go to Catholic schools, and there is seldom now a real catechism program that is in the public schools and the other non-Catholic schools. And it's an alarming rate. I don't know, I remember right, it's a drop from, I think, from maybe 80% to down to about 50%. In other words, right now, and it continues to deteriorate right now, half of our youth will grow up to be adults not really knowing the basic doctrines of our faith. And of course, there are so many implications of that. So we'd like to help by volunteering to form groups in our community to teach catechism. And there are those, initially when we broached this to the members, there are really those who are called to do this too. And this can be their own service, this can be their own ministry, and it will help the church a lot. And I remember, I think Tony also remembers this, in university, in college, one of the organizations we had in university was the ACIL, or ASIL, or the Ateneo Catechetical Instruction League. And there are students that go to Marikina and Barangka and the nearby public schools to teach catechism to the children. So I am confident that we can even interest our Singles for Christ and Youth for Christ to do this. Maybe not all of them, but a group of them can also be able to partake